have some fun. I made a mistake. My hard drive are always filled to overbursting, and I think when I recorded a new session, I had to delete some old videos. And I think I actually made a deck, recorded it, moved it over, and deleted it to make room for something else. So I'm going to come back to this one and do it, because I can't find the original one that I did. I'm sure it was awesome, but you know, this will be too. The name of this deck is Unwilling Sacrifice. Just like I somehow unwillingly deleted the original version of this. But the deck list is going to be the same. Welcome to Tpull. This is Travis saying hi. A snarling wolf. We have an instant. I guess we could wait and see if they're gonna pump up instead of cast a spell. Maybe they'll waste their mana pumping it up and then I'll destroy it. I don't want anybody hitting my pretty face. No, he does something completely different instead. Okay, fine. Do you have another cheap spell? Or no, he can still pump up the wolf. He is just... wow. Look at you. You know what? Get rid of you. Get rid of you. You and your cheap creature. God. You're gonna empty your hand. You're gonna have nothing left. So he couldn't help it. Couldn't help himself. You got another cheap creature in there? Yes, you do. Couldn't resist. All the mana, all the creatures, it will not save you. We're gonna burn down the house. Do you hear me? No, they can't hear me. I talk the trash, but they can't hear it. But they see what I'm doing. But I'm out of ammo. And if they bring down yet another creature, I can't really throw Koth into that kind of fire. No pun intended. Look at that. Well, I have a choice. Oh! I do have a choice. That is so lovely. All of my removal up front. That's very good timing. I can't believe that I'm matching my opponent land for land. It's about to change because I'm about to get me some more land.
If there can be, I'll shape the earth itself.
Say hello to Koth, Planeswalker for the expansion. That's right. I'm a free-to-play account, but I still get some cards. I still get cards. I'm building my collection slowly. -3. 5 damage for the 5 mountains.
Here comes the avalanche.
I don't know if I should sacrifice the chef now and get 2 of the Obnixillae? Is it Obnixillus, or is it, when it's plural, is it Obnixillae? I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever gone to the dude and asked him. You're looking at my Planeswalker. What do you got? He said all creatures. He's got to have some removal, right? That's a lot of threats he's gone through. My turn. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get me...
We have the high ground.
...another mountain while I can. And we're going to casualty this. We'll sacrifice the chef. We'll wait for the computer to catch up with us. And we need a little devil. Here's the chump blocker.
Of morality.
You work for me now, Runt.
Is power.
Pleasure doing business.
Oh, I like the fact that Obnixillus is such I don't know if you want to call it a blowhard or what, but his ego is so big. Even though one's a copy of the other, each time they come in, they just start immediately talking. They end up talking over each other. Keeps looking over at the Planeswalkers. You can bum rush them, but you won't get through this time. I keep waiting for a card to come up that shows you what this deck is about, and it hasn't happened yet. The hint is in the name. Take the damage, we'll give that point to our opponent, and he'll finally be back down to 20. That is not what I wanted. Okay. Let's get rid of this one before he creates more wolf puppies.
Mirrodin, lend me your flame!
Let's see. How do I want to do this? I guess I need to get rid of that now to get another chump blocker.
I have a job for you. Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
And we'll sacrifice it now. And that way we have a 3/3. We'll try that. He's still got this one card. He's been holding on to it a long time. Our opponent does nothing? Really? Well, I think this is the casualty version, right? So I can go get another land.
Retake this land from Phyrexia.
We can go get the Gibbering Barricade. And I already have a copy of the Legendary in play. Oh, okay. No, I don't want to do that then. We'll just do this. We'll plus it up.
Pleasure doing business.
And we'll
with
keep
you.
what we got. More creatures, more threats. There we go. He's been saving Unnatural Moonrise. But there's no haste there. And we won't even let the trample damage get through. Kill whoever you want to. It makes sense. With Koth, I've pulled way ahead in land. I'm 3 up on land. Finally! The name of the deck is Unwilling Sacrifice. It's because we like to take stuff like this and sacrifice it. Man, that took a long time.
We have the high ground.
But we got there. And as soon as we did, we're done. Remember to like and subscribe. Alright, let's go ahead and show you the deck. We'll show you all the cards. There was a deck that I'd done that had the Enthrall card, and it was mostly a red deck, and I had just a splash of blue to pay for the kicker for the Thrall spell, because it was a self-containing sacrifice card. So we would steal the opponent's creature, and if we had the 7 mana necessary for the kicker, we could, it would get haste, we'd untap it, we'd attack with it, and then it would sacrifice itself at the end of the turn. So that was Enthralled to the Pit, and I had 4 copies of that in a previous deck not too long ago. But I wanted to do, I wanted to go back and look at the red cards because there are so many. There's always one red spell that you get to take control of a creature. And I wanted to just do this kind of thing because I've done it before, but I hadn't really made a good video of it. And this is a good time to do it, I think, because we've got so many different cards, and each one has the flavor of its own expansion. So for Innistrad, you have the blood tokens. I'm just going to create a different column for them here. So these are all gain control of target creature until end of turn. You untap them all the time, and you gain haste. That's the basic spell. And then each expansion has its own focus, and they tack on the mechanic or an aspect that hints at the flavor. So for Innistrad, you had blood tokens was a big deal, so we got blood tokens there. We've got, for Dominaria, we've got the Enthrall to the Pit, and this is the one that I used in a previous deck. And that was kind of cool, but I used 4 already, so I just wanted to use 1 there. For New Capenna, the emphasis was on treasures. So here, it costs 1 more than Bloody Betrayal, but same thing, gain control, untap, gain haste, and this time you create a treasure token. And maybe, they're both sorceries, so maybe they consider treasure to be more valuable than a blood token, and that's for the higher cost. Then, we have over here, Sibling Rivalry from Brothers War. This is the same cost as Involuntary Employment, but it's at common. You gain control, and you get a Power Stone token, which is part of the Brothers War type of thing. So it's interesting to see, the rarities of them. These are all common for some reason. Uncommon for Involuntary Employment. And again, that may be because they consider treasure to be more valuable than a tapped Power Stone token or a blood token, perhaps. But those are all the control spells. Next, we have the sacrifice spells, and here we have Dockside Chef. We can pay 2, sacrifice an artifact or creature, and draw a card. So the idea is we just grab the enemy's creature, and then we sacrifice it so it doesn't go back to them. We also have 4 copies of Fatal Grudge. I've used this in a deck before previously as well. I love it. You sacrifice a permanent to cast the spell. Each opponent chooses a permanent they control and sacrifices it. Plus you draw a card so it replaces itself. So I've got 60 cards in the deck, but this is a little bit of draw card advantage for me. And I wait till they have 2 creatures out, so I can take 1, sacrifice it, and use it to make them sacrifice the second creature that is facing me. So that's awesome. We have Gibbering Barricade, which for extra, it's a little bit extra than Dockside Chief. It's interesting, Dockside Chef, only has casting cost of 1, and the activation is 2, but he's a 1/2. Here you have a 2/4, so twice as much power and toughness, but it costs 3 to bring down, and it has a limitation of being defender, so it can't attack. And to sacrifice a creature, it costs 3, but instead of just drawing a card, you get to gain 1 life and draw a card. But that's another way to sacrifice their creature, and also Transmogrant Altar that we got to showcase. And that's an artifact. If we want the mana, we can spend just 1 black mana to sacrifice a creature, or if we prefer the creature, which is usually the case, we'll get a 3/3 colorless zombie artifact creature token. There is also Killzone Acrobat. Whenever Killzone Acrobat attacks, you may sacrifice another creature to give Killzone Acrobat flying. So if we have this spell and grab one of their creatures, that's another outlet if we don't have any of these other things going for us. The other fun thing is Obnic Silas. If we gain control of one of theirs, we can use it for the casualty mechanic, sacrifice their creature to get us our copy of Obnic Silas. That is awesome! Okay, that is basically the combos of the deck right there. And the rest is just removal basically to help me survive, right? Flame Blessed Bolt, Obliterating Bolt for 4, Malicious Malfunction, all creatures get -2/-2. The Curse of Hospitality is just 1 enchantment, gives all attacking players, or all attacking creatures, trample, and whenever we do combat damage to the player, we get to exile the top card of their library and we can play it. But we have to sort of plan it out a little bit, because a lot of people will tend to play their spells and tap out, and then they'll attack, and then they get a good spell and they can't use it. We only have until the end of that turn, and so keep that in mind. Rending Flame, 4 copies of that, deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and if it's spirit, it does additional damage. And a Koth that you already saw, and 1 Burn Down the House, and 1 Temporal Firestorm for the board wipes, and 1 Terror Ballista. This is technically 1 more sacrifice outage, right? 5/3 with Menace. Whenever it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature, and if you do, you destroy target creature and opponent controls. So again, if we get to that point where the match lasts to 7 and we get it out, if we have 2 of opponent's creatures out, we could choose which one we grab with our spell, and then we could choose which one that we destroy as well. So again, a way to sort of get 2 for 1 out of that. And that's the idea. That's the theme. The name is Unwilling Sacrifice. And we beat a wolf deck, which has become increasingly common lately. When the pre-made decks came out and we were going up against these werewolf decks, a lot of times they're just so fast. A lot of cheap creatures. You know, the legendary creatures, there's like 3 legendary things in there, including a legendary planeswalker, that all seem completely overpowering. Can run away with the game as early as turn 3. We should have enough removal that we can sort of hold off until we get our some sacrifice features set up. But we will have a problem if we have to deal with a 1/1 every single time. Especially if we got to deal with more than 1. Well, isn't that going to be great? I guess we just start now. That one's kind of cool, but it would have been nice if I would have gotten some land. I don't have any black sources for mana yet. Toxic 2. And I don't have enough to do stuff. I'll use what I've got, but for people who've been around a long time, and by a long time I mean since the Phyrexian expansion came out, I've been sort of on the same note. Whenever these Phyrexian poison decks come out, my little conspiracy theory is they are absolutely just they want new players to play with the new expansion. They're great in a way. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. See, I'm dead next turn, aren't I? It's like gonna be turn 4 and I'm gonna be dead. I can't get rid of them. I have no creature to sacrifice, and if I do this, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's still, I'm still dead no matter what. So I mean, I can take this. I lose the lifelink. I can give him another poison, and I can discard a card. And all it did was give me the wrong color land. So here, we just never had a chance. They got these little cheap 2-mana hives. They got all the poison they could have asked for, and we didn't even get the right mana to defend ourselves. Even though this is in there with this in mind. To just take out all of these 1/1s at once, and they didn't even give us the mana. And it's always the 2 at once, right? They always mess with your mana, and they put you against the deck they want you to lose against. And it might be a little more sporting if they would just do one or the other. Like, put us against a bad deck if you're going to mess with our mana. Or put us against a Phyrexian Poison, but at least give us the tools that we need to actually run our deck. We will press on. See, they've already apologized. The spies at Wizards that track my every game. He said, okay, we made you lose. Now here, you can have the mana for your spell that you wanted. Thanks, guys. Yeah. We'll just exile that now. That's a good choice for exile because when you proliferate, you return it from the graveyard to your hand. And now, it will not be coming back. Have we made them more cautious now? That's all they have to do. They don't have anything better to do. Interesting. We have Koth to get out more mountains, right? So, as long as I already have some mountains, I'm gonna... Sheesh. Okay, Magic. At some point I do need some spells. It's starvation or flood around here, isn't it? There might be counterspells here, so I guess I'm just going to relax. I don't have a creature to benefit from the curse. So if he taps out, that'll give me a chance to play the curse without worrying about stuff. Is this just some weird land destruction deck? He's just going to go after my dual lands again? Maybe that's the trick on Arena. You keep making them shuffle, and every time you shuffle, the deck thinks that you need more land on top. I already had a mountain on top again. Is there nothing but land left in my deck somehow? What did you do to me, Wizards? Thank you. Alright, I'm tired of waiting. I want to do something. Let's see, what do you got? Do you have counterspells? They're letting that go. Whatever they have, they do have an instant that can hold up priority. Is it a counterspell or not? We don't really know. They're not really bothering to do anything. And my deck is kind of a reactive deck. I have to wait for them to put down a creature to do something. They're content to wait. I should have a couple more turns before I am forced to do something. But they're matching me land for land right now. And Arena is just giving us all of our land all up front. That's 10 lands. 10 lands to 7 spells. I didn't even do anything with Koth yet. He did something. Whenever the creature becomes the target of a spell. And so he's already doing stuff. What if I go ahead and try and preempt things? Do you have other protection spells? We're going to limp up all of the poison counters right now on this turn. This type of deck usually has... Oh, there we go. Counter spell. He's setting up some stuff. And proliferate. Three poison counters already. He's got all basics, so I can't use my field of runes on him. But we can do this that gets rid of his Rot Priest without targeting him. In the meantime, since he is tapped out...
Oh, and I'm done with this city. Go ahead, plead for mercy.
I don't have any blue or white to actually do saving the Planeswalker. I can't phase out and save Obnixilis in this particular deck. He may not need the Rot Priest anymore if he's got enough blue spells or black spells with proliferation. He doesn't actually need to hit me again. He could actually just kill me with poison this way. But I didn't want to use Bloody Betrayal and take the Rot Priest because that would have given me yet another poison token. Yeah, see, there's two more proliferation spells right away. He got all of his dig spells up front, which is very nice for him. There's another poison counter. So he's just getting all of the poison spells basically. And what do we get? We get land.
Pleasure doing business with
Maybe I should create a devil just to run over and hit him with my Curse of Hospitality at this point. Yeah, if he's got 4 of each, there's like 4, 4, 4 with the proliferate. Hey, look at that. There's something I can work with. Unless he's got more protection spells. You get Tyvar's Stand already. Four, 5, 6, 7. Do I actually have enough to try it twice? They're not instants, so if he has protection, that's 7 mana that is not going to work. And blue and green both have access to very cheap protection spells, let alone the Fading Hopes where they can just bounce their own creature. Yeah. Okay, hexproof and indestructible. So let's go ahead and create a devil token.
Shake down the locals.
Just another Phyrexian poison deck that we're having trouble against. What is left? Well, I probably should have activated Obnixilis first, but let's take what he's got. We'll get our own creature. Go ahead and activate this now.
Defy me, and you'll lose everything.
I just want to see, do you have more protection? I want to tease it out. There we go. Another Tyvar stand. Perfect. Hexproof. Except here, it's the opponent that chooses the permanent. So I can sacrifice this one that I got. And Hexproof doesn't save you, and neither does Indestructible. And for all of that, all I did was just get yet another land. Ugh. What do I do? Destroy one of his? He's been keeping pace with my land draw. There goes my 9th poison counter. Are we dying to Phyrexian poison yet again? Yeah, he's got it. All he needed was the one creature, the one time. They gave so many ways to give poison. Alright, that's 2 losses to 2 poison decks. We're going to go back in again. I don't feel too badly about that showing, except, man, did I draw a lot of cards for lands. Whenever you're facing a blue control deck, that long a time and allowing them to draw that many lands is just sort of asking for them to have any and every counterspell that they need. And we actually did manage to outmaneuver them on the counterspells with our strategy, but they still had all those other proliferation spells. We start again. Blah, blah, blah. Can't cast non-creature spells from graveyards or exile. Okay. Do we have to worry about that? Let's go ahead and put out the barricade as well. Is that Besiege You? We're gonna take Besiege You. We're just going to wait for him to show up. We're going to wait for the tree branch. We can't attack with him if we're going to sacrifice him to the Killzone Acrobat. Maybe we don't wait. Maybe we take Blossom Prancer now. Yet another tree branch. Must be nice. Okay, Temporal Firestorm. If I do that, that's going to be all my mana. Yeah, let's do this. Going to attack. Go ahead and sacrifice you now. That gives me flying and the ability to hit them, so they lost one creature and we managed to draw first blood. They're just gonna draw, they're gonna play Besiege You again, right? They play the tapped land. And they draw two lands, so they got 3 in there. So what else are you gonna do? They actually discarded the land. Okay. Sweet. Oh, this works out perfect. I'll take the tree branch. We'll attack with the tree branch. We don't need to sacrifice that one. To block for the 3, which is fine. And then I can sacrifice a creature and get a 3/3. I love it. Are you going to go get the land you discarded into the graveyard and put it on top of your library? No, he thinks he's kind of running out of time. He's got enough land. What else you want to put down? Because I got one more possession card here. Cleanup Crew. This is an artifact. This is an artifact. See if you're sensing a pattern here. Attack with everybody. Sacrifice a creature. Gain a life, draw a card. And Flame Blessed Bolts get rid us of the Soulless Jailer, and it gets exiled. The Soulless Jailer, which stops us from getting into the graveyard, does not get to go to the graveyard. Colossal Sky Turtle. Yeah, I kind of like that. You can block your own branch, and we still got lethal. And so, you know, after you get your butt kicked by the Phyrexian Poison decks, which is mandatory on Arena right now, as they showcase their new expansion, eventually they'll let you play your own deck, and you can showcase it. And it doesn't get any better than that, so I'm going to leave that there, I think. We'll go back in and show you the deck one more time. I feel good because we got to show off Koth a little bit. And we got multiple control cards in a row, and we just took everything that they had away from them and sacrificed it. That was awesome. Let's see, is there anything else that didn't really get showcased? Not really. I mean, we didn't get to draw the Terribilista for once. The Magic tends to put your most powerful card in your hand a lot of times up front, but it wasn't a factor this time around. Everybody else sort of made an appearance, so to speak. So I feel really good about the deck. This is a very common theme in Magic the Gathering. I don't see it used a lot, but maybe it's good in the current meta because I'm thinking of things like the Phyrexian Obliterator that you really don't want to deal damage to, but if you can take and sacrifice it, that's something else. There's a lot of cards that are in the environment right now that is like you can't really affect them, or if you do, there's a penalty. Or like you're dealing with the green and blue cards, the control cards like we did versus the poison deck where they have hexproof and indestructible, but we still got cards like Fatal Grudge that, you know, it's the opponent that chooses a permanent that gets sacrificed. So we still have workarounds for stuff even like that. So let me know if you take this deck out for a spin, how it works for you. And as always, remember, like and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Have a good one.